Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another craft with me / process video, whatever you want to call it. This is not my idea. I actually watched a video over on Kreativ Paper Artisan. That's Karin over there, and she did this beautiful tag waterfall. It's like a little writing pad, so it's a waterfall kind of thing here. And so it's got the tag front and the tag back. It could be actually glued down, so you wouldn't necessarily need to use a nice paper on the back of this. I didn't know what I wanted to do with this, so I just went with that. I think she had hers free floating, but you could totally glue it down, and then I just kind of creased the top page here so that it would open up well. And I just put some of my coffee dyed paper in here. So, and then the second thing I did was this little booklet, which was, I tried to do a video on this, but it was just, I mean, it was so sideways that I didn't even know what I was doing. So I was like, I need to do this again. So this was just a little waterfall notebook. So we'll be doing hopefully both of these in this video. So I did pick some different papers. These papers are actually from Ruby and Pearl, and I believe this is the raspberry kit, but I will link it in just in case you guys are interested. As I've been saying, I am purchasing a lot of her digitals because they're absolutely stunning. So these are the digitals we're going to use today, though. I've got these ones, which is going to be for the tag, I believe, and I just wanted to keep them the same on front and back. So I've got two of those, and I did back them with some coffee dyed paper. And I thought with this one, you could either do two small booklets and use the remainder of these pages that were from the other project over there, or we could just do the little notepad and I'll save these for another thing. I haven't decided quite yet. So that's what this paper is for. So I'm going to set that aside because we don't need it quite yet. And the first thing that we need to do is decide on this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold some paper first. I did this opposite on the first one. I think I'm going to fold my papers first and then decide what size I want my tag to be. So I'm going to start folding. I'm not being real particular about which pages I am pulling. I just love all of them. So what you're going to do is you're going to start with a piece of, this is again coffee dyed paper, so it's an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I'm going to go ahead and fold that. And I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch at the bottom, like so. And the way that I found this to work the best is to, let me just straighten this out real quick, is to make a pencil mark. So I'm going to grab my pencil, and when I fold the next one, I am going to put it in line in place here, and I'm just going to, not being precise with my measurements, just going about 1/4 inch there. And I'm going to go ahead and mark it. I'm going to pull this over though so I can actually see that edge. So if you can see here, we've got about 1/4 inch on both of those. So I'm going to mark it here. And I'm going to go ahead and fold that on that pencil line, if I can find it, which is always the hard part. Where did it go? Where did it go? I think it's right there. And again, I don't look for precision here. I just want to create. So if that matters to you, please do feel free to measure or whatever you need to do. So this one's going to go here. The one thing you want to keep in mind anytime you're making a waterfall type of piece is you want to decide the order of your papers before you start folding them, because once they're in their position, you could obviously refold them, but you'd have an added crease and all of that. So you do want to get them in the order that you want them. I'm going to skip over that one because it's a little bit too pink. I think this one would be lovely. And again, these are just papers from my stash that I did, coffee dyed paper. So I'm just going to continue. I'm going to speed through this part. I'm just basically making it 1/4 inch-ish, like in that general measurement, and then I will come back to you when these are all folded. So that is a 7-inch tag, which I think is perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and just line these all up nice and as straight as I can. I'm not, again, concerned about it being perfect, because that's just not the name of the game for me. But I don't want it to be like horrible either. So I'm just going to tap, tap, tap. And I'm going to use this as my straight edge here because it looks to be moderately straight. So I'm going to go ahead and paper clip this in a couple of places. And then I'm going to put it through my guillotine. I did try this on my prototype, or my failed video rather. I think when Karin did it, I can't remember what Karin did on hers, but the guillotine worked just fine for me, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that over. And I'm going to make this, so let's see what the measurements were again. So it was about 7 inches long, and we would make it probably, how about we do 4.5 inches wide. So I'm going to cut this at 4.5 inches. And it did cut through this mini papers pretty darn well. So we're going to try it again here. And I just want to make sure that I get that as straight as possible. Again, I'm not worried about it being perfect. So so our tag will have to be slightly bigger by probably about 1/8 of an inch, just because we want the waterfall paper to go inside of the tag, not be exactly the same size. So that is that. So let me grab my small trimmer and we can cut our paper down as well. This is going much better than my first attempt. So we're going to use this paper. I'm going to cut them both at the same time because then we can be certain that they're going to be correct. So we cut this at, I'm just going to check my work here, 4.5. So we're going to cut this slightly. I'm going to cut a little bit off of each side just so that it's even-ish in terms of the image, if that makes any sense, and then we can go from there. So cut off about that much off that side as well. Okay, so now 4.5 inches would be here. So, oh, I wish I had, I think I can just cut off a little bit more off this side. I'm going to go all the way to the flower. And we're just going to back our way into this because math is not my friend. So it's easier for me to just kind of do this little game. So I'm going to go ahead and go to this edge of this flower because I don't want one flower to be cut off more than another flower on the other side. So that's kind of what I'm aiming for here. Make sure my papers are going the right way. That would be terrible. Yes, they are. So where are we at now? So we are at 5.5 inches, right? It's a work night, you guys, so this could be terrible. Okay, so we're 5.5, so we need to take it another inch off of each side. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this way, and whoops. I think that's 1 inch. Oh goodness gracious. Again, it's a work night, so this is always a risk for me. So I'm gonna do 1 7/8 of an inch so that I can have it be, no, that's wrong. We're gonna do it 2 inches. This is going south, you guys. South, I tell you. Oh, there's the 1 inch mark. Oh goodness gracious. There it is. This cannot be this hard. So, oh, what happened there? That was kind of weird. I thought I must have mismeasured, but that's going to be okay. We're still inside the border there. Oh, for goodness sakes, Renee. Okay, so then we want it to be 7 inches in height. So we're going to take a little bit off the top so that we can retain some of the stem, which I really like. So if we go here, I'm going to go just a little bit bigger than a 7 inch. So that, I'm happy with that. These are going to make amazing scraps. So that's that. So we've got our our panels for our tags. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and cut our corners. And what I did on the prototype is I went ahead and put all of these together, and then I cut the corners all in one foul swoop, and that worked really well for me. So there's that, and there is that. And just making sure that everything is pretty neat and tidy. That didn't cut off terribly. That's really pretty. I love these images. They are from, oh, let me grab it really quick, guys. I wanted to have that prepared and I didn't. These are from Digital Fit, and they're called Floral Digital Papers, and they're absolutely stunning, stunning pieces of work. I don't know if it's artwork that she's created or what the deal is, but they are amazing. So I'm just going to go there. That should keep us all nice and lined up. And I'm going to bring I'm going to make my tag. I'm just going to use my pencil so that I can control this. And I think what I did on the other one is I went ahead and cut this piece off so that I had one to put on the other side to make it the same, if that makes any sense in my current state of mind. There we go. So I'll just take that one off and put it over here so it goes like that, and then you just turn it over in your hand and put it over here, and we'll go ahead and make a mark, and then I'll cut that edge off as well. Just a neat, nifty way. You guys have probably seen that before. It's not new. People have been doing it forever. I'm going to go ahead and trim that off as well. And then I'll just cut with the guillotine cutter the rest of it, including the back. So I'm going to move that cutter and bring this one back over. So let me show you guys. I told you I can't remember, you probably will have seen the video already, but I ruined my mat that I had. It was like one of those, the ones that comes all rolled up and you have to lay it, you have to get it flat. Well, I did some mixed media and I put matte gel right on it, and it ruined it. So I ordered this glass, and it's not quite as big as my other thing, but it's glass, which is awesome. And I'm not minding the reflection too much. I can see my flowers up there on my arm of my webcam, but not too bad. So I'm just going to use my guillotine because it cut through those papers just fine, and I'm going to line up this edge obviously with that, getting it as straight as I possibly can, and chomp. Sorry for the loud noise. It's a lot of paper for even the guillotine to cut through. So we're going to do the same on the other edge. I think if I go this way more, I have better success. So yeah, there we go. Awesome. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and leave this paper clipped because we're going to put a couple of eyelets in here. So let me grab my eyelets. I forgot to get those out. Just a moment. Maybe we'll use some yellow ones. I don't know if I have little yellow ones though. I don't think I do. I prefer the little ones. Boy, I should have been more ready, guys. I think I'll just use the bronze. If I can find some. Or do we need to order some? There's a couple. These are what I used on the other one. And while I am digging around, I'm going to go ahead and grab some Sari silk as well. See if I can find one that looks like it would go well. Probably just a green would be good. This is, or seam binding rather, not Sari silk. This is some that I did, and I think that might be pretty. So I'm going to get my little handy dandy Memory Keepers little eyelet setter. And I don't measure, so I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. And it's already set for the size. I don't like to go to the big one because I always forget which ones these need to be. I mean, this one's easy because it's only got 2, but this one has like 4 choices, and I just need to get a cheat sheet or something to refer to so that I can actually make that switch, but right now I'm not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna guess, and I'm gonna do 2 holes. So I'm gonna go about right there, and I'm just gonna shake that out. It gets stuck in there, and then I'm gonna go over here, and I'm gonna do it at approximately the same distance, again, as best I can, throwing perfection out the studio window. That looks to be okay. There we go. So, oh, I still need that. I did have trouble getting these in here because there were so many papers, but it did actually set better than a lot of my things set, which I found quite surprising because I usually have trouble with my eyelets. So let's go ahead and just do that one and make sure it's gonna be beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and just give that a good press. Where's the thing? Come on. And sometimes I think I overthink it, like it's crooked there, but we're just going to go for it. Ah, that didn't work. Darn it. Let's try again. Maybe we can make it go better this time. Hopefully I can take that back out. I think that fixed it. It's not very good. I think it's going to hold though, so we're going to go ahead and leave it. I need to be a little bit more careful with this one. I'm not sure what happened there, other than it's a work night. I usually do all my videos, I do a lot of my videos on Friday afternoons and into Saturday and Sunday. And I usually am way filmed ahead, but I have one of my grandkids going to be coming and spending some time here. And so I want to have some things done so that we can enjoy time with him. It's, so each of my grandkids gets to have either whatever they like to call it, a birthday adventure or a birthday date. This little guy, well, he's not so little, he's 13 now, but he doesn't like the idea of date, so we don't call it a date. But anyways, it's a date with Grammy. So this is what it looks like when you open it. So I do kind of pull this back. I don't want to lose very much of the writing space, so I'm going to fold it as little as possible, and I'm trying my best without being able to really know if I'm straight going across there, and just give that a crease because we want to be able to for that to be able to open and close easily. So we've got our little seam binding. I don't know that that's the color that I want. Let me reach behind me again, see if something else strikes me. I almost like this lighter color better. Let's go with this, and we're just going to feed it through the eyelets here, and I'll try to find some beads or something to put on it later. I don't want to do that on camera because I'm terrible at it. So I'm just going to get my awl is probably too. Yeah, let's use it. Use the awl to poke that through. There we go. And we're going to feed it back up through the other side. And again, I want to give full credit to Karin over at Kreativ Paper Artisan, because this was her little deal, and it was amazing. I just was like, oh my gosh, I would never in 100 years thought of that. So it will be a new thing for my journals, because I think these would be great in the inside cover of your journal, like the front cover or the back cover inside, for just a really great writing space, like right out of the gate. So I'm just gonna straighten that a little bit. We're gonna just tie this up here in a little bow. And I'm loving that color Story Silk because I don't want it to take away from the image, because the image is absolutely stunning. So there we go. And I always use this Sari Silk, so nothing has ever wasted in my studio. So there is our Waterfall tag. So I will probably go around and ink these before I take the pictures, but isn't that amazing? And so conversely, this could be turned that way and the back could be written on as well, but I'm just going to leave it for now. But that is our Waterfall tag. So that one's done. So we wanted to do something with this. So now the other thing that we have is we have this paper that was from what we just created. This is the other half of it, right? I think it would be advantageous to use this. So I'm going to go ahead and just clip this just to keep it all together and in good working order. And we will make a booklet. So how would we want to do this? Because it's going this way, so I'm going to go ahead and even this up first, just so I know what the width is that we're working with. So I'm just going to get my cutter out over here again, and I'm going to cut as little of this off the side as possible. Try to retain as much of that edge as we can, but while straightening it. Perfect. Easy peasy. Okay, so we have, this is 3 7/8. So our booklet, I guess I could probably get, let me mark this at 3 7/8 and see where we're at. Hopefully you guys are in camera here. A little zony. So I'm going to mark that, and then I'm going to see if I have enough. Yeah, so I have plenty. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that on that line. Just going to grab my little cutter. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I do not like guillotine cutters. Sometimes they are a necessary evil, but I do not like them because they feel scary to me. It's a big blade in there. Really big blade. So I'm going to go ahead and, so was this exactly 3 7/8? 3 7/8, yes. I'm going to make this just slightly bigger than that because we want to have a little bit of an overlap. So I'm changing my mind there. And I'm just going, I'm going on the right side of my pencil line, going up that way. And I'm going to go ahead and erase that just so it doesn't by chance show. And we'll probably use that for something here, but I'm thinking for the back, but because I don't want to really lose all of this beautiful image. So I think what I'm going to do is fold this top piece up just a bit, like maybe a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to roughly do this. You could definitely score this and probably get a better crease, but this works for me. I'm going to grab my bone folder over here and just go ahead and just crease that really well. There we go. And then, oh, that's perfect. Perfect. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and make a pencil line here. I want this to be slightly bigger than the length of the waterfall paper there. So we're gonna I'm hoping this is making sense. She didn't do the little booklet, but I just thought, wow, it's just like making a little, like sort of like the Matchbox ones that we make. You could totally do a waterfall Matchbox booklet in this fashion. So what I did here is then I just, because I have that fold over where I can protect that edge, and then just we could also do the eyelets. Could we do the eyelets? We should be able to, because it's the same amount of paper, so it's not going to be thicker, except it is going to be thicker here. But you know what? I think we're going to try that. But what I want to do first is I'm going to grab some glue, and what I want to do is go ahead and take a piece of this. Maybe we want to go that way so that you can see that beautiful image underneath. I think we'll do that and just make this be kind of more of a contrast, but we need to cut this down to the same size. Goodness gracious, Cara-Renee. I am all over the planet. All over the planet. Still have hard stuff going on with some family stuff, not my family that I live with, but my historical family of origin, and it is not pretty at all. But I am trying to be at peace and find my joy again and let it go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on top of there just a little bit. So I've got, this is the fake Barely Arts glue. The only thing I don't like is my pen that came with it got stuck inside and it broke, and so now I have the bigger nozzle on, so now I don't get that really thin bead of glue that I would prefer, which is a little frustrating. It's still not too thick, but it can come out kind of fast. So we're going to go ahead and just put this on there. Actually, let me ink this really quick because I don't want that to be, I want that to be nice and dark and deep. It'll be hard to do that afterwards, so. But in case you missed it, this glue is like the Barely Arts glue in that you have a little bit more working time. You can move it a little bit more, a little bit longer than you can move like the art glitter glue. So it's really, really nice. So there we've got that. Oh, I also forgot I need to put a, did I decide I needed, I think on the other one I put a little bit of a score line so that it could, I think this is going to be fine. I don't think it needs a score line, a scoring bit. So I think I'm going to skip that. So now we obviously need to cut this off, don't we? So let's just make a mark. If I can make up my mind what I'm doing, it'd be golden. There we go. I guess I could have just put it in the cutter. Goodness gracious. Sometimes I laugh at myself. Okay, there we go. So that is that. So what we're going to do is we're going to staple this in, and then I'm just going to put something decorative on the top here. So we don't need to, I'm going to go ahead and move that so that it's not in the way of stapling. And I'm just going to grab my stapler, and we're going to go ahead and stick this in here. And so we've got, this is the back, which this one I would probably make free floating because now the back can be written on, which is kind of epic. And then when the person flips through this, they can actually see that image again, the other half of it underneath. So I think that's kind of cool. So let's slide that in there. And I'm going to just tap, tap, make sure that's nice and secure in there. And I'm going to go ahead and, again, imperfectly staple because I don't care at all about that. I'm not going to go very far in. And I'm just going to put 3 staples. Like so. And one more. There we go. So that is that. So what we could do is put some lace or something in there because I don't like the openings over there. So let me grab some lace, my lace bucket here. This is my scraps, and see if I've got something that would fit here. That's not too, I don't want anything to take away from the beauty of this, but oh, this is so pretty. I love this coffee dyed fabric. So beautiful. Oh, this would be really pretty, but it's probably going to be too big. But it could wrap around. Check it out. Yep, that's what we're going to do. Don't you love it when you grab one of the first things you grab and you're like, that's it. That's what I want. So I'm going to trim it off. I'll trim off the ends once I get this glued on. For now, we're just going to roll with it. Just grabbing a paper towel to clean off my Fabri-Tac here. And we're going to go ahead, I'm going to put a bead of glue. So this is the front side of it. Let me take those paper clips out. Like so. And I will link Karin's YouTube channel so you guys can go over and show her some love and tell her thank you for this wonderful idea. Because again, I did not think it up. So what I'm doing is I just want to evaluate how thick my glue line needs to be. So I like to go like that so that I have that measurement there so I know how far down to go on my piece. But you do you. This is what works for me. So we're just going to attach the front first, and then we'll we'll do the same with the back. So I think that edge is pretty straight. We might have to trim. In fact, I'm gonna make us trim a little bit just to even this out, because I like to have like to have these edges line up so that they don't look all weird. So do we want to come down? I think we want to come down a little bit. And just give that a press. I'm going to be seeing that glue through there, but that's going to dry and it's going to be fine. Like so. I might put a little piece of lace there too. That might be kind of pretty. Just want to make sure that we're even as best as I can. So I'm going to trim this edge off because I don't want to double cut it once I fold it over. It will be tricky to cut through 2 layers. And so then I'm going to go ahead and put glue here. And I can't really tell how far down I need to go. I guess just below here, like so. That's also going to reinforce that piece that we attached, which is going to serve a dual purpose. So I'm just going to fold that over. I'm going to get my paper towel and press and press and let that get nice and dry. Again, though, that spottiness should not show. If it does, not a big deal. It is not a big deal at all. So I'm just going to trim that, straighten that out. Come on. Don't cut your fingers though, Renee. Ah, I just about did. Hands right in the way. Okay, so do as I say, not as I do. Be careful of your fingers. There we go. So that is gorgeous. Look at that. So I feel like I want a piece of lace too. So let's see if there's something thin enough in here that we can just finish this off. And then I will probably decorate this off camera. Oh, that's pretty. Just to add a little bit of, well, I don't want to cover up that beautiful eyelet though. That's not going to work. I'll probably do a little bit of decorating on them, but I usually like to just show you that in the photos at the end, because I want to keep this one a little bit shorter. So I'm grabbing for some smaller, thinner lace here. Just trying to, I'm going to show you some of how I'm organizing in here. I finished labeling all my drawers and stuff, and everything is just in such good shape here. All of my stuff is kind of where I want it now, which is really cool. Oh, I like that. Let's do that. That's a perfect kind of lace. So I'm just going to put it along this edge. And then check out the photos at the end, and you guys can see how I spruce it up. Even though it's beautiful as it is, you could totally leave it like this, but I like to go a little bit, I like to go that one step further. That's totally my style. So I'm going to show you both of these again, and then I'm going to let you go. I'll trim this. Oh, she slid over. Slide back. Slide back. There we go. Just trim that edge off. There we go. So, and probably off camera, I might do a couple more things with these pieces because my desk is already in disarray. So I may as well just continue what I'm doing. So that is that one. And then, where did our other one go? What? There it is. And our tag. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Waterfall notebook. I didn't bend that though. Let me bend that really quick. I just don't want that paper to stick, so I'm going to pull it right back down so that we don't have a problem. Straighten that out. And yeah, so we've got 2 great pieces of these. Will probably go in the same journal. Maybe they'll go in the green journal. I'm still intending to finish that. I'm just not going to stress about it. I'm just going to do it when I want to do it, and I'm going to be okay with that. So anyway, there we go. Thank you guys for stopping by. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.